Alright, so since you're not here, I figured I might as well just do this short video to give you an idea of what I'm doing, since I know it's cold outside and you don't want to be over here. Anyway, so this is how to change your own oil. Basically, I let your car run for about 10 minutes, or well, more like 5 minutes, just to get it up to temp, because it'll make it a lot faster for your oil to drain out if it's actually somewhat warm, as opposed to doing it cold, and it could take hours for your oil to all drain out if it's cold. So I like to do it with the engine a little bit warm. So the first thing you need to do is find your jack point, which is right here. You can see this is the edge of your front wheel, so your jack point is right here by this cutout. See where my finger is? So I placed my jack under there. I jacked it up tall enough to where I thought I could get the job done. And then I put a jack stand next to it and let some of the weight, I backed off the jack a little bit so that the rest of the weight would go on the jack stand. So I've got 2 points of failure here. If the jack for some reason falls, I've got a jack stand there to catch the car, to keep it from falling on me. So that's important. And then, of course, you always want to put a block of wood behind the rear wheel, just so, you know, even if the car's in park and the brake's on, it's always nice. It's basically just an extra safety precaution. So there's that. There's only a couple tools you'll need for this. I have oil. Your car takes 5W30. You need a filter. This is an oil filter wrench. And this is like well, you basically just need a wrench that can to unscrew your oil pan's drain plug to let the oil drip out. This is just a fancy wrench that I'm using. So anyway, once you've got, oh, and you also need the drain pan right there. So anyway, once you jack the car up, here, I'm going to get on my creeper. This is just a little thing that makes getting into your car a bit easier. Okay. So this is the front of your car, or going under. This, you see right there, that's your oil filter. This is the front of your engine here. That's your oil filter right there. It's that white thing. Then right beneath that is your oil pan. You can tell it's the oil pan because it has these ridges here. Yours has these ridges on it. And this plug, this bolt right here on the other side of it, that is your drain plug. So that's what we're going to need to unscrew. So if you're quick with the wrench, this can be very quick and not messy. But most likely what's going to happen is when I unscrew that, it's going to start dripping oil all over my hand. So you want to have your drain pan handy underneath that already. And if you can, since I don't want to get oil on my garage floor, I've got a cardboard box underneath that too, in case anything gets past the pan. Luckily, since we're doing it inside, we don't have to worry about wind. But anyhow, you just take your wrench here. So I've got this fancy spinning wrench, and the size of this bolt is 3/4. So it's the same as any other bolt, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So I got it on the end there, and yours is on pretty hard, so I might have to use some elbow grease here. Somebody really torqued the sucker down, which is stupid because they don't really need that much torque. I'm gonna have to put the phone down for a second. Yeah, so unfortunately, when you take it to a lot of these Lube It USA places and things like that, they use an air drill on this wrench, on this nut, like an idiot, and they over torque it and it strips the threads. So that's the case right here. This nut was put down with an air drill. It does not need to be that tight. An air drill is used for putting, you know, air wrench is used for putting the bolts on tires. This is not the correct application for that, so this is making my world a lot more difficult right now. So I'm going to pause this video for a second until I get this bolt unstuck. Okay, so I'm back. That was fairly painless. I did hit my hand on that, which was kind of hot, so that kind of sucked, but as you can see, I've already got it started, and the oil's going to start coming out here in a second.
And if you can, you want to catch this before it comes out. Luckily, there's a grid in here. See, there it goes. Uh-oh. Oh, that went all over the floor. Okay, so now we got it in the pan. I missed a little bit. This comes out in an arc, so I missed initially. And it's draining now, so I am going to pause the video here and clean up the mess I just made. Okay, so I finished letting the oil drain. It's just trickling now, so sometimes when I do micro, I'll walk away for a few hours, but you know what? Your oil really doesn't look too bad, so I'm going to go ahead and cap it off. Let's see here. It's down to like a drizzle, basically. It's just coming off of it's draining around all the parts of the engine, so it's going to take a while before it stops draining completely. But we need to remove the oil filter, and that's also going to be messy, so let's go ahead and just, first I'm going to stop this, so I'll put the bolt back in. Just maybe, or I could just make a mess. Yeah, looks like I'm going to just make a mess instead. Okay, there we go. See, it's turning it the wrong way. Okay, so now that that's in, we can move our pan over here because we're going to have to unscrew the oil filter. And when we do that, a lot more oil is going to come off. So, rolling over here without knocking my lamp over, I got my oil filter wrench. And so, we just put this on the end here. And I'm actually going to do it this way. Yours is in a weird spot. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really understand why they put it that way, but it's like tucked up in the engine. Usually mine's a lot more accessible, but that's because it's an older car. So hopefully I can get this. If not, I might have to spin it off by hand, which hopefully didn't tighten it too hard on there. Yeah, I might have to spin it off by hand. Okay, one sec. So I've got a different oil filter wrench. This is an actual like wrench, and I think it's going to be make these a little bit easier for me. So I'm going to use this instead of the standard one. Let's see here. I think I got it. Try not to touch your muffler with my fingers so I don't burn my fingers off. There we go. So you can see it's moving. I don't know how much oil is going to come out of this, but it's probably going to be messy. Hopefully it doesn't shoot all over the place. Okay, yeah, I got it down to finger tight now, so let me use this here and reposition my trying to get that mess cleaned up. I'm gonna have to clean that up afterwards. Okay, here it comes. I'm gonna have to let it drip down the engine because unfortunately the way they designed this, there's really no non-messy way to do it. I'll go ahead and degrease your engine after this just so you don't have a bunch of oil all over it. But like I said, you know, this is a messy job, so sometimes there's not much you can do. Just trying to do this slowly so I don't end up popping this sucker off and then getting it all over, because this filter is full of oil right now. I just want to get as much of it off as possible. If I was to just unscrew that whole thing with my hand, just unscrew it, the whole thing is full of oil right now, so it'd be all over my face and all over the floor, which is not good. So okay, looks like it stopped, so I'm going to unscrew it now. And as you unscrew it, once you've gotten it most of the way unhooked, see, you'll feel it come off. Ooh, this is very hot. Once it comes off, oh, see, there's a bunch more in there. So keep it upright so it doesn't spill on you, and then you just pour it into the thing there. You can let this sit upside down on that grate and drain. So now we're gonna put the new one on. So get up here. So gonna wipe my hands off. And here's the new filter. I'm gonna put this in my teeth for a second. Okay. So we got our new filter here, and it's very important to note. See this rubber gasket right here? When you take off the old filter, make sure you check the other one for this rubber gasket. If it's not on there, that means it's still stuck to the engine, and if it's still stuck to the engine and you install this new one on top of the other gasket, you're going to get huge leaks. So you always want to make sure that that rubber gasket is still stuck to the old filter. And then when you put this on, you want to take some fresh oil and just lightly dab it around the gasket here. That'll help it seal up nice, and it'll protect this rubber a little bit. But otherwise, there's nothing you need to do to this other than to, screw it on as tight as you can by hand, and then maybe give it like a quarter turn with a wrench. So that's what we'll do here. So I'll just get underneath the engine. And you can see there's that stud where the filter was. So let me I'm feeling up there to see if there's any goop on there. It doesn't look like it. Looks like you got a pretty clean engine, which is good. So let me just take our filter. You put it over the. You'll feel it. There's a nut that you screw it onto. You just turn it by hand until you feel it catch, and there we go. Hold on, I almost got it. Okay, it's catching. So you just keep screwing it on, and now it's snug. And I'm just tightening it up by hand. Oh, I got a drop of water on my eye. Okay, so that's nice and hand tight. So I'm going to take these guys, the oil filter wrench, and just give that guy one turn, just a small turn, so it's just a little bit more than hand tight. There we go. That's enough. You don't need to torque it that hard. Just like the normal nut. This isn't that hard. So now we take our wrench again. Make sure it's set to 3/4, or in your case, you're probably going to use socket set, so it doesn't matter. And just turn it to the right to tighten it. And that's tight. So I don't need to over torque this like last time. And now we just put the oil back in. So your oil cap's off right there. And I don't know how much oil your engine takes, so I'm going to check the book, but I'm guessing it takes about 4 quarts. But anyhow, that took me, let's see here, minus the time it's going to make me to clean up that mess that I made, it took me like 20 to 25 minutes, so that's really not bad. And it would have taken us a lot longer if I hadn't warmed up your car. Your oil came out really fast because it was nice and warm. It wasn't scalding hot or anything, but it was nice and warm, so it didn't take that long. So yeah, that's all you have to do. I got to put the car back down, but you saw how I have it, so, and I can show you the rest later. That's really all there is to it. I just got to put the oil back in, get the car on the ground, clean up my mess, and then we're good to go. So that is how you change your own oil.